Welcome to the Fear and Greed Afternoon Report for Friday, the 8th of April 2022. I'm Sean Aylmer. Every afternoon we bring you the 5 news items that happened today that you need to know about. Story number 1, the local market closed up today with the S&P ASX 200 rising 0.5% to 7,478 points. That left the index at about where it started the week and virtually at the same level as the beginning of last year. Leading the way today was the big Australian BHP, which rose 1.6%. Telstra, Toll Road Group Transurban and energy giant Santos all jumped more than 1%, while Gold Digger Newcrest rose nearly 3%. WiseTech Global was among the worst performers, down 1.5%. A couple of the winners today were GrainCorp, which upgraded its earnings guidance on the back of strong demand for grain and oilseeds. Its share price closed nearly 6% higher. And uranium explorer Paladin Energy. Its share price jumped 13% following the ending of its share placement plan. It's now back to January levels. Platinum Asset Management's share price tumbled 14%, the worst on the bourse, after it reported net outflows of $222 million in funds under management. The Aussie dollar finishes the week trading under 75 US cents, having hit a 10-month high of 76.7 US cents midweek after the Reserve Bank hinted the official cash rate could rise soon. Story number 2, this one is for all those bond traders out there. The yield on 10-year government bonds pushed through 3% today, the first time since 2015. For most investors, and that's you and I, bonds are part of their superannuation portfolios, even if they don't know about it. Anyone holding bonds as yields rise mean the value of that fixed interest asset is decreasing. That's bad news. But the flip side is that bonds as an investment are becoming more attractive if you're buying now. It all comes as the Reserve Bank released its semi-annual financial stability report and said 3/4 of fixed-rate home loans will expire by the end of 2023, and borrowers are likely to handle increases in their payments when their fixed terms expire. That's good news. The bank said households had built up a substantial buffer to offset rising mortgage rates in the future. Story number 3. Woodside's $41 billion merger deal with BHP Petroleum is fair and reasonable to shareholders, according to an independent expert's report, boosting the prospect that the tie-up will occur and create a top 10 global oil and gas producer. KPMG's report said the merger will create a stronger business with greater financial strength and potentially be more attractive to global investors. Some Woodside shareholders have raised doubts over the deal. Its share price fell 2%. Story number 4. Russian troops have now fully withdrawn from northern Ukraine to Belarus and Russia, according to British military intelligence. Some of the forces are now likely to head to East Ukraine to fight, where bombardments continue. Meanwhile, Australia will provide a further $26.5 million worth of anti-armour weapons and ammunition to Ukraine. That will take total assistance to just over $190 million. And the United Nations has kicked Russia out of the UN Human Rights Council over violations and abuse of human rights in Ukraine. And story number 5 comes from the good old US of A. Caroline Kennedy, the daughter of JFK and potential US ambassador to Australia, has praised our country as a model for the US on how to respond to ongoing challenges of economic coercion from China. 4 months after being announced as Joe Biden's pick to head the embassy in Canberra, Ms. Kennedy said evolving security tensions in the region have made the US-Australia relationship imperative. She was testifying this morning at her confirmation hearing in Washington. That's it for the afternoon report for Friday, the 8th of April 2022. Don't forget to hit follow on the podcast and find Fear and Greed on LinkedIn, Twitter and Facebook. Join Michael Thompson and I tomorrow morning for the Weekend Fast 5 by Fear and Greed. I'm Sean Aylmer. Enjoy your evening.